Hello and good evening, everybody, to the 5th round of the Simufur GT3 Season 5 Championship here. Joined by yours truly, Denak here in the commentary box with a brand new host. It's going to be Palikui returning to us to provide commentary for its very exciting 5th round. We're almost at the end of the whole Simufur GT3 season. It's going to be a very, very exciting race so far.
Oh, yes, definitely. And thank you, Denak. It's awesome to be here today. And yeah, we got a night race going here at Watkins Glen. A beautiful course out in New York. And as we can take a look at Simon right now, going down, I believe, from the heel. It's a tricky course out there today. It's going to be testing these drivers. And right now, the series leader being Plasma, we're going to see if he can come away with another victory here. If he's going to get challenged by Caffey later on. It's going to be an exciting race here, Denak.
Absolutely, indeed. There's been a lot of close competition happening in Silver, in Pro, and in AM. And that's going to be something we're going to have to look at here, where we have a couple minutes to go before the start of the qualifying session. So if we're going to be hopping over here, we're going to be seeing, this is going to be the points we have with the drop rounds included. So the way this championship works is that there's going to be the worst result of your championship is going to be discounted, or in other words, it's going to be your 5 best results counted in this overall standings here. And looking at it so far, we see Plasma in a fairly solid lead here in the overall championship, with about 5 points separating them from P2 and P3 close fighters here. But there's an opportunity if Plasma has some kind of incident happening in this race here, that's going to be throwing this championship wide open, giving the opportunity for Caffey, for Grim, for Asher to perhaps rise up in the standings or even overtake them into the lead of the championship here. So that's going to be something we're going to have to absolutely look forward to here in this championship. But if you're also going to be giving a bit of a reminder on to how the Silver Championship goes, that's also a very, very close battle here with Lunatic, Blade Wolf, Vossi, and Auras. We all see all of them separated by less than 10 points each other here. And this is going to be a big surprise. Lunatic is not participating today. They are unfortunately out of the race. They're not going to be competing. So this is, I'm pretty sure, going to be their drop round this time. So that's going to be giving Blade, Vossi, Auras, all of them a possibility to perhaps even overtake them in this very close Silver Cup Championship. That's going to be absolutely a showdown towards the final round here. But what's probably not going to be a showdown, if I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, that's going to be Vex in the AM standings here. They are just absolutely crushing it here. They have just been, after their very awkward first race in Kylabi, they've just been able to collect themselves, get those wins, get those pole positions, and they have been reaping the rewards with everybody else just miles off the pace here. So looking so far, I am very much expecting Vex to get promoted to a new class at the end of the season.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, given the performance Vex has displayed so far, it's out there mixing there with the Silvers and Pros pretty consistently. So it's not a surprise to see Vex on top. However, the real challenge for the AMs today, at least championship-wise, is going to be the battle for second. As you see there, you know, not separated by many points. Looking through the order there, Zazors and Zephyr just really close, and they've been battling it out all season, so it's going to be exciting to watch that. And as you can see, just all around, from Pro, Overall, Silver, and AM, there's going to be a lot of battles out there today. It's going to make for some exciting racing. Absolutely, indeed. And even if the win of the AM Class Championship maybe or have already been decided with how successful and dominant Vex has been throughout the season here, there is still a lot of opportunities for P2, for P3, for all the other competitions, for the other slots here in this championship. It's all up for grabs here, so that's going to be something we'll very much be looking forward to here. And now we only have a couple minutes to go. We are waiting for the last of our cars to finish on their final laps on this practice session before it's time for qualifying. And yeah, it's going to be a very close one. Watkins Glen, it has a very few corners. It only has 11 turns in general, in overall, but they are very tricky. Lots of fast benders. The bus stop chicane, it's a very dangerous corner complex. So we might see some instance from our competitors trying to just maybe sending a bit too hard in those first few opening laps on the qualifying. Yes, and as we just heard, I believe qualifying is just about to begin here at Watkins Glen as we have the first few cars moving out. Hopefully we can get a camera on the action shortly, but looking through it, I mean, given the characteristics of the course, it's been one that you want to take those risks if you're looking for the time, but it's one of those where if you do take that high risk, you have to know what you're doing, because any sort of mistake can lead to pretty much the end of your race here. Bus stop especially. When you look, as we can see here, Zephyr is coming up now. Those curbs are very tricky to get right. If you take one in too close, get a wheel off, you start sliding, you end up into the wall on the right side of the course on that exit, and that's going to ruin your day. But with so many different elevation changes, I mean, as you can see, Zephyr just coming down into the chute, going to the toe of the boot here, you have to understand how your car works and the grip levels that your cars are going to have, and it changes turn after turn, and it's a real challenge to see anyone negotiate these corners. So yeah, as we look through here, Zephyr coming through after into the boot right now, coming into the heel, you can just see over crests, hard braking zones, and fast shooting corners. Yeah, I'm very interested to watch who's going to take the lead on this one. But right now we got Nats and AMs currently on the track.
Yes, we're now waiting for Zephyr to get ready on their very first lap around this track. It's going to be first AM and National Cars doing their first lap. So we're going to be giving Palikui the opportunity to narrate through the first lap around here in Watkins Glen on board with Zephyr going around the final corner.
So as we see here, Zephyr right now coming out onto the start-finish line right now. As you can see, passing the start-finish line, and then you're going to go downhill a little bit, and you're going into the 90 hard braking zone. There's a lot of runoff. You just see Zephyr's just gone a little wide, but you want to take that wide exit because this is where your momentum is through the S's. You want to make sure you get the maximum amount of speed out of turn 1, because going through turns 2 and 3, as Zephyr's going through now, leads into the long back straight. Here you can ease off a bit, but there's going to be a few passing opportunities here as he leads himself into that tricky bus stop I told you about. Got to make sure you get the right braking here, and as he bumps over the curbs here, comes out into the outer loop. Another tricky corner as it goes downhill, and you want to just ease the throttle off a bit and then make sure you hit that apex as you come down, keeping as much speed as you can into the chute. And this place right here is tricky. You can lock the tires a little bit if you're not careful. So coming down through here and then push as it compresses that suspension coming through out of the exit of the chute and into the toe here. Now the toe goes uphill, so not only you want to make sure your momentum is up, but you got to make sure your speed continues to rise as it gets a little bit of grass off the edge there, and you're going to see that in the race too for those that are taking the risk. Into another hard braking zone here is the heel, coming again, another elevation change, a little bit down and up a bit, and you can see Zephyr just struggling a little bit, just trying to maintain it, and possibly the lowest grip corner on this circuit right here as you come out from the heel around to the left-hand corner in a high speed left and right as you're making your way to the final 2 turns of Watkins Glen here. And as Zephyr comes through the final turn here, you want to make sure this is where the pit entrance is at. You want to get it nice and deep into the corner and just barely edge the wall, and that completes a lap here at Watkins Glen in New York.
Yeah, very decent first lap opening from Zezor. It's going to be a 47.230, but that's not going to be all because Zezor's right away answered that with a 46.665, a whopping 5/10 faster than Zephyr already. So we're already seeing a lot of close competition. Very fast times coming in from our AM drivers here. We're going to be watching very closely. We also have still Neo, JPEG, Wolfin. We're still actually mostly waiting for Vex to see what kind of times they're going to be able to do around on this track here, because we have got to be, they have been very dominant already in the practice times we have been watching before this race here, and we're going to be watching them very closely on their first laps around here. Let's actually have a bit of a look-see. Where are they at the moment?
Of course, no surprise, Vex just crossed the line with the 146.4, so about 2/10 up from Zezor's at the moment. Yeah, it's not a surprise there, but, you know, looking back at Zephyr's lap, you can see that there is a great challenge going through, especially after the bus stop. That entire section through the outer loop, all the way through the boot and from the heel, it's just elevation change after elevation change. You just got to know how your car behaves through those corners.
Absolutely, indeed. And I want to be behind it as we see Vex going around here in the bus stop. It's not just bus stop you need to be considering. It's going to be this turn 5 immediately after bus stop that you need to be really careful of, because if you send yourself a bit too hard, you miss your braking point, you go to what? You lose many tenths, like up to like half a second of time if you don't get this entire complex right. So that's going to be one critical section for all of our competitors to keep in mind here. And it seems like Vex has been really getting in up on their time. So we already see them on a 6-7 tenth improvement going through turn 8 here towards towards the boot here. So it's another strong improvement from Vex here. Now, it does not look like anybody else has been able to get even close to answering those times here so far. Actually, I am mistaken. There's going to be now Zephyr able to improve on their previous lap time here, but that's only just equaling Vex's previous fastest lap time here. We still see Vex now going through into the end of the heel here, now towards the final couple corners, already 8/10 up on their previous lap time. So incredible stuff from the Blue E Ferrari 296 driver here, already on a massive improvement and just dominating the AM field.
Yes, as you can see though, coming up out of the heel, lost a couple of tenths there. That's the trickiest corner. The camber coming out of that corner is not good as you're going over crest, but manages to make it up back 8/10. And as Vex crosses the line, Vex does an incredible 1 minute 45.6, almost a full second ahead of Zephyr at the moment. But of course, as we see, the cars have already started to improve, so we'll see if Zephyr has a response.
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch them very, very closely, but this seems to be roughly on par with what we have seen from Vex compared to the other AM drivers in the previous races here, with Vex getting almost over, sometimes even over a second up on the previous second best drivers in the AM classification here, very consistently fighting with the silvers and sometimes even with the pro drivers here. So we're gonna be watching them very, very closely here to see if anybody else has any kind of answer. But what we want to be highlighting that despite Vex's utter domination so far, we still have a very close fight happening between Zephyr and Zezors down here in P2 and P3, with only a tenth of a second separating these two competitors here. So we're going to be watching them very closely. We see Zezos are currently on a 5/6/10 improvement here, currently going towards the final turn 10 and turn 11 complexes here. So it's not going to be looking enough to beat Vex's time here, but doesn't look like Vex is not quite fully secure in that pole position if we can get some more improvement from these other AM competitors.
Yeah, of course, but you know, Zezor's most likely going to move to second after this lap. Looks like up 4/10 here, and yes, crosses the line with a 146.1. So Vex not entirely out of the woods here. A very impressive lap by Zezor, and of course, not to be overshadowed. Looking a little bit down the order, you know, Weiss with the 147.1, Smalljack with the 147.4, and Wolfen with the 147.6. I mean, fourth place is also very much up for grabs right now, with less than what looks like half a second between those three competitors as well.
Absolutely indeed, and we are also seeing the 529 Wolfen Foxtail here currently on another 4.5 improvement, now going towards the end of the heel here towards turn 9 and into turn 11 here. It's going to be this very tricky uphill left-hander. It's really easy to get your backsliding. I think we actually see a little bit of time lost from Wolfen Foxtail here, so unfortunately they lost a couple tenths here, but they are still on a very good improvement now going towards turn 10 and turn 11. It's going to be very crucial to get right up on the inside line of the turn 11 here to maximize your exit on this long main straight here. It looks like they missed that apex just a bit and missed that going into the wall here, but that's going to be the big risk for all of our competitors. It's going to be that wall on the outside of turn 11, that final corner. The absolute best time is if you can just get your car right up on next to that wall and maximize your exit speed. But if you get it even a bit too fast, you're in the wall, you have massive damage, and you're out of the race. So that's going to be something that we'll have to absolutely be on top of.
How brave do you want to take turn 11? It really comes down to that. If you are confident in your car, you can get so much out of that exit. But if you overshoot it, if you take just a bit too much speed, you either have to scrub that speed off way at the end, which kills any sort of momentum you have, or you hit the wall. Neither are good, but usually you'd prefer to take it a little bit less. But Zezor's here with a very impressive time, a 145.5, currently taking the lead in AM class, a 10th faster than Vex. Wow, impressive.
Yeah, very, very good running from our competitors indeed, and we are running into the final 30 seconds of the AM classification here, because we have indeed split qualifying in this session here. So we have the AM, national and AM drivers here running for the first 10 minutes. So this is going to be the final opportunity for Zezors and Vex and Zephyr and all of our other AM competitors to improve on their times here. And it seems like Vex is again on another improvement of about 2.5 tenths here, now going towards over the finish line. It's going to be an improvement. It's going to be enough indeed to secure pole position in the time few seconds of the AM split.
Yeah, no, that's it. Almost seemed like Vex got a little bit of help with the car in front there. I think, what was that, the number 12 of JPEG, I think that helped Vex out there. But you know, you'll take it, especially in these open qualifying sessions. You gotta take what you can get, and if you can get that draft, take it.
Absolutely indeed, and we are now out of time here for AMS. It's now time for our silver and pro drivers to take the stage here, but we still have a couple of cars here currently on a lap here from the AM class. We have Smalljack still on another flying here. Another 3/10 improvement now going towards the heel of the boots here with a pretty strong time so far. If they can get this time right, they might even get up into the top 5 in the AM classification standings here with that McLaren 720S under their seat here, looking into turn 9. It seems to have being able to get a pretty good, decent exit now. Another 2/10 improvement on that exit here. Now it's going to be all down to just carrying that speed into turn 10. Ooh, very deep on the curbing there. A little unstable there, but seems to have been able to hold that line. But unfortunately, they lose all that time. And unfortunately, they really wide on that exit into turn 9 and turn 11. And unfortunately, they lost all that time, and they are now no longer improving, and they interrupted their race. So looked very promising so far, but unfortunately, it's those very tricky turn 10, turn 11 corners where they lost all that time.
And that's going to be the big name of the game, especially during the race. It's going to be consistency through all of those tricky corners. I mean, I was honestly surprised Small Jack wasn't invalidated there with how deep they took turn 11, it looked like. That's an interesting aspect. You don't really see many drivers going super deep into turn 11 because you can just set up nice and wide going into turn 12. But, you know, as we saw there, it only takes just a little dip in the grass and that could ruin your day. But thankfully for Small Jack, I mean, you know, this is just qualifying and managed to hold it. So I give him props for that one.
Absolutely, indeed. And we also see our final runner, Snowdog, able to get a P4 in the AM classification standings with a 146.477. So that's going to be indeed confirmed. Vex sitting in the pole position for AM classification standings here. So congratulations to her. But we're going to have to return to them later because now it's time for our pro drivers. It's going to be Plasma currently leading the field, going through the turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 section down towards bus stop. So already looking very strong with that Audi R8 already.
Well, and Plasma has this uncanny ability to make almost anything he drives planted. So, I mean, looking at the Audi here, you can see how smooth he goes through the corners, how he sweeps outside of the outer loop and pushes into the chute. And, you know, just to swing back at what you were saying, I mean, Snowdog sneaking in there at 4th place for AM, I mean, it's got to be happy for that one. You know, heading back to Plasma here as we're going to start going through what we've seen so far. We'll just go over the top 5 for AM. We have Vex up top of the 145.3, Zizorus with a 145.4, Zephyr with a 146.0, Snowdog with a 146.4, and Weiss with a 147.0. So, you know, a very impressive drive for those. And we'll see how these Silver and Pro drivers compare to these times, because I have to say, those are pretty competitive times out of the AM class.
Absolutely, indeed. We're seeing Zezros and Vex again very close in their qualifying time so far, with the 3rd best driver Zephyr only matching them by 7/10 off their lead time here. But we're going to be seeing now Plasma going through that final corner, just brushing that wall on the exit of turn 11, just maximizing everything out of that Audi R8. It's going to be a new time of 144.6. So that's going to be the pro showing what's what to all of these AM drivers. So very, very good stuff from Plasma already.
Well, yeah, so not just the pros showing what, but Plasma in particular being a very experienced sim racing driver and esports competitor here, not just in ACC, but in iRacing as well, and in a lot of other sims. I mean, Plasma just showing how it's done. And as you saw, as we were watching the first lap, how smooth Plasma makes it. I want to also keep in mind, if you take a look again, his lines are pretty much darn consistent. Gets a little bit of that curve there, but, you know, he makes it look so easy, as we see Azure Goat coming across the line too with a 145.1. So Plasma so far with an impressive half-second lead so far, and looking to even increase that in qualifying.
Absolutely, indeed. And we're going to be watching them from the onboard, and you can just see how you can see just that smoothness in their controls, especially now going towards the toe of the boot, just very smoothly gliding that roller. A bit of a slide on the exit of turn 7 here off the toe here. That's going to be also another tricky section in the coming race here. It's going to be this uphill right-hander turn 7. We've seen already in the M2 Sunday series that was also featuring Watkins Glen Racing here. There was a very large incident that happened exactly into the exit of turn 7 where a car lost the rear, hit the wall, and caused a very fairly major pileup here. So we're going to be seeing if our competitors will be up to their snuff, and although it looks excellent this time around here, as we're going to be seeing now Plasma swinging around on the exit of turn 10 and towards it. It's going to be then going 2-1. It's going to be an invalid lap time, so not an improvement for them this time, but we see many competitors behind them all also improving, so it's not going to be done and close dusted deal for Plasma yet.
No, and I was actually watching Caffey in the meantime. Was in second as we take a look at the another camera angle here at Plasma. But you know, Caffey was coming along. Caffey was up 0.5 of their time at 144.6. Was gonna make it 144.7. Gonna make an easy lead shot, but then also invalidated their lap. Azure though getting the better of all of them with a 144.597. 0.003 of a second faster than Plasma right now, but we know times are going to improve, but it's really close.
Absolutely, indeed. We've already seen Plasma on another 2.5 3/10 improvement going now towards, that's going to be towards the coast section of the boot here again. So it's going to be just went a tiny bit too wide on the exit of turn 7, I believe. So that's going to be all down to just them easing it back a little bit more now, going towards the toe in this track here, and looking again another 0.4 up, 0.5 up on their previous personal best here. So Plasma again looking to assert their dominance on every single other driver. As we see another car spinning around on the exit of turn 7. I'm not quite sure which one that is. I do believe that is going to be the car number 911 on the outside there, but they seem to have been able to get out of the way and not disrupt anybody else's lap time. So good stuff from them. But looking at the Plasma so far, again, they lost a bit of time trying to avoid that spun out car in turn 7, but they're still on a very substantial improvement now, going towards turn 9, towards turn 10, still holding on that 0.4 delta here. But we see also Caffey in the background. They're also on a 0.5 improvement on their own previous lap time here. So it's actually going to be quite close to see who is going to be the one holding the provisional pole here, as they now go across the finish line with Plasma getting an improvement of let's see, our timing sheet, it's going to be a 144.2. So it's going to be them claiming the provisional pole so far. But we have Caffey here heading towards the heel of the boot here on a 0.4 improvement as well. So they are very close to also pipping Plasma for the lead of this qualifying here.
Yes, as you can see coming through right now, the heel, I mean, it's just a matter of seeing how wide you can make those turns, how much speed you can carry, especially down here. Caffey has been considerably strong, but last time going through the section, invalidated their lap, up 0.6 now. If they can complete it right through turns 11 and 12 and manage to maintain the speed, they have the lead, up 0.7 coming into the final turn. How brave Caffey makes it, just graces the wall. And as we were talking about, that's how you do it. Caffey now lighting up the timing boards with a 144.085, 0.2 ahead of Plasma right now, and they are fighting for provisional pole.
Absolutely, indeed. There seems to be more of a two-horse race here at the lead of the pro classification standings. But we actually haven't talked about the silver so far, because we are seeing a gigantic gulf of a pace between our silver drivers here. We see Vossi holding on the provisional silver pole position here with a 145.0. In the mix of all of these pro drivers here, we have F-Spirit able to get themselves a 145.3 within about 3/4 of Vossi's time here. But looking down into the third fastest silver driver, that's going to be Fallowmate, a 146.2, so over a second off the lead two silver drivers here. So some incredible pace we see from the top of the silver class.
It's of course, I mean, the mix. We have a lot of talented drivers here, a lot of them that have spent time and a lot of patience practicing this course, setting up their cars. And I mean, you look at F-Spirit up there, just in the middle of the pro class, and Foxy even higher up. I mean, it's such a mix, and I find it very impressive that they could just keep the pace here. So I think we saw a car go way off track there coming into, I think it was the toe.
I do believe that was the car of Fallowmate. We're going to be seeing from the replay exactly what happened with their car here. So let's have a quick refresh. So they just lost it into the exit of the turn 6 here, just went off into the distance, into the wall here, but they seem to have been able to recover their car and get back into the pits here. But the run time is running short. We only have 30 seconds left here, so that was Fallowmate's last chance to improve. So that's going to be locking themselves all the way down in P20. So an unfortunate incident from then cost them the ability to improve, but it's looking very much like Vossi and F-Spirit are going to be there out dominating in the silver class.
Right, and as we hear, Simon sneaking in there right now with a 144.4, taking the third place away from Saber with a 144.5. And just a quick note right now, all of the top drivers are going around 268 kilometers an hour coming through that long straight right before the bus stop. However, Simon with a 271 kilometer per hour max speed before the bus stop, just pushing that car, just that Aston Martin, way beyond the speed limit.
Yeah, we can
It's just
see.
amazing to see.
We can absolutely see Simon just sending it very, very fast into the bus stop section now towards the outer loop into turn 5. Yeah, they're still trying their best to improve that, but they're currently 1 second down on the lap time, so they are unfortunately no longer improving on the lap time so far. But we still have a couple of other cars here that are flying by. We actually have Joker down here in P11 on a 4.5 improvement. Now going towards the final straight here over the finish line. It's going to be a big improvement up into P6 with a 144.747. But we're going to be seeing Kathy and Plasma both in the pits here, so none of the top 4 drivers are improving. So that's going to be confirmed. Kathy has been able to secure this pole position into the pro class so far, unless we have these final cars are going. We have Wushul and Tyne Fox and Azure God still on their own laps here so far, but it does not look like they're going to be able to improve fast enough to get past Kathy and Plasma and Simon into the top 3.
No, but that was an impressive run by Kathy. I mean, we saw, it was that risk you have to take, and that's the difference. Just coming into the last few corners, Kathy nailed that entire last section and just managed to get ahead of Plasma by that much. And taking a look at that, it was just that sector alone was 0.3 faster than Plasma, and that was what managed to secure that lead. It was only 0.2 of a difference, and so you could see how much one sector nailing that can just manage to get you that much ahead. As we see Wershel just having that good old time slamming that Porsche into the turn 1 wall there.
Yeah, a very, very traditional Wushi action where she just sends it into the final in the first corner after the qualifying session has indeed completed. And we can now confirm Kathy has secured the pole position into the pro classification here with Vossi with a very dominant 1:45.0 into the lead of the Silver Championship here. We see F-Spirit able to get quite close-ish to Vossi's time here with a 1:45.2, but we also see a very solid domination happening from Vex here, holding on to the provisional pole position in, actually not provisional, actual pole position in the AM standings here, with the Zizors able to secure the second row spot in the AM classification here, both of them within a 1:45 time here. So it seems to be very, very common theme from all of our pro, silver, and AM class here, with the top 2 getting really close together in their lap times here, with everybody else just kind of falling behind and just trying to play catch up.
Yes, and pretty soon all of those silver bars will become white. All those red bars will become silver, but it's a part of the system. It's pretty amazing how we can see these drivers progress and how they continue on with their simulation careers here with us at Simufur, and it's all in good fun. These drivers, they come out here, they go through the track, and it's pretty amazing. So, coming through now at the end of qualifying, as we saw, I mean, Kathy right now confirmed for pole positions, Plasma, in second, just a few tenths off, just 2, with Kathy with a 1:44.085 and Plasma with a 1:44.255. Further than that, third place Simon with an amazing lap time of 1:44.4. So it's going to be incredible to see once these guys grid up and they pull up, as we then, I believe, are going to start the race in about 3 minutes time.
Yes, indeed. And now we have all of our competitors getting ready onto the starting grid of the car here. So we're going to be having a look through of all of our competitors to see what kind of a lineup we're going to be having. And Palikui is going to be taking us away from all of our competitors on the starting grid of the race.
Yes, and so, of course, lining up in pole, Kathy, we have the number 21 BMW there is perfect, and then Plasma, the number 116, making your first row here of the grid today. Simon, the number 31, with his impressive lap time in that Aston Martin, and then Azure and the McLaren right before the 765. Saber, 5th place here, coming in with a good time during qualifying, and Joker with that impressive push. It is McLaren at the end of that qualifying session. We're showing the number 169 Porsche here. It's an impressive 7th place for them. And then Anka in 8th, right behind with Tig Gang Racing in that number 40. Randomly rounding out the next row in 9th place, the number 73 Ferrari there, followed by Vossi, our silver class leader in number 15, coming in 10th place. The number 115 car of Grim Lilith in 11th, for that. And then Tyne Fox in the number 55 car, right behind in 12th in that nice BMW. F-Spirit 777 car in number 13th, followed by MN_here in the number 808. right next to him, lining up on the grid there. And then we have Newt, the Bluey driver, 272, 15th on the grid, and another Bluey driver, Vex, in their Ferrari, number 22 there. And as we were talking about the battle here, Zezorus there, number 7, the number 6 car in 17th place, followed by Dipping Sauce, then the number 38 Lamborghini there in 18th. Zephyr in 19th place here, number 7 in the BMW there, followed by Fellamate, number 5 Lamborghini there in 20th. Then, in the 21st and 22nd positions, you got Snow Dog, number 919, and then one of the few Bentleys we have on the grid today. And, of course, Blade Wolf in the number 142. As your Vorpes 23rd here in the number 406 BMW, and then Weiss, number 24th here in the number 366 BMW. We've got a few good lineups of cars from all manufacturers here today. Small Jack, as we saw, the number 51 here in their McLaren, 25th on the grid, followed by Wolf and Foxdale Bluey driver, number 529 and 26. 27 to 28, we got Swingley, number 145, and then JPEG Fox, number 12 car, right next to him. And then coming into the back, a couple rows of the grid, we got Eggful, number 78 McLaren there, starting 29th, and Neo in the number 310 car here, the Aston Martin, 30th position. And then, of course, rounding out your grid today, Cohen, number 31, their 404 Ferrari, and Classy Finnegan in the number 653 Bentley here. And then finally, last but certainly not least, Johnny in the number 911 car here, and of course in a Porsche 911 as they start to file out here today for the warm-up lap here.
Yes, a very, very competitive grid indeed, and a very crucial outlap here so far, because it's going to be at night, it's going to be cold, so it's going to be very important for all of our competitors to get their tires up into the right temperature here and get up into the start of the grid here. Now we're going to be seeing our competitors finally getting away and getting ready for the start of the race here. So we have seen many times before with Plasma, despite them not maybe always winning the qualification battle here, they've always been able to secure the win of the race here, into the lead of the race here, by just having a bold dive into turn minus. We're having a bit of difficulties with our timing software. Let's see if we can just get them back on track. There we go. But yeah, so do you think it's going to be another similar improvement here we see from our competitors able to get into the lead of the race here, with from Plasma able to just secure that P1 run?
Yeah, you know, I've raced with Plasma before, and I've also started in front of him. I know one of Plasma's strengths is consistency. Plasma always finds a way to stick behind you and knows when to make the smart move. So, of course, the Plasma being that he's in the lead right now, and given that, I believe, you know, we were talking earlier how right now the biggest competition that I believe, you know, Plasma has is Cafe in front, and then behind them is Grim Lilith, I believe, is, you know, what Plasma's going to be thinking about. He doesn't necessarily need to have that sort of amazing start and necessarily win it. I know he's going to want to win it. But strategy-wise, you got to make sure that you finish the race and you get the points. And I know Plasma is far enough ahead where he doesn't feel that sort of pressure. So he's going to look to either take advantage in the beginning if it's opportunistic enough for him to make the move clean, or he's going to stick back and let strategy play it out. And knowing him, he's got the pace. So it's going to be a matter of whether Caffey can hold Plasma back and out-strategy him.
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky here into the first sector, into turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 towards the bus stop section here. It's going to be very tight for all of our competitors. It's going to be risky for them to go too wide, so it's going to be down into if Caffey can hold off that charge from the very fast, very high straight line speed holding Audi R8 here into the bus stop chicane here. It seems like whoever's going to be in the lead or into the bus stop chicane, that's going to be them in the lead of the first lap around here. So we're going to be watching them very, very closely as they're now getting a route into the heel of the boots here, with all the drivers just weaving, riding their brakes, getting their tires into their optimum temperatures and their brakes into their optimum temperatures here, getting ready for the start of the race here. So yeah, a very, very exciting race indeed to come here, with a 1 hour of racing to go, with a mandatory pit stop window in the middle where our drivers are going to have to switch their tires to brand new ones and put on some fuel here. So that we're going to be potentially seeing some undercut strategy happening from our competitors later on in the race.
Yeah, but as we can see them going double file now, I mean, that's going to be a big component as they come around the last couple of corners and they line up getting ready to take the green flag here today. But yes, no, as you were saying, I mean, strategy is going to be a huge part if they stick together, which I'm very much anticipating. You you know, coming around, and that's going to be tricky too, because as you know, turn 12 here, as we saw, that's where the pit lane entrance is, so we could see some tricky scenarios setting up as they come around the final corner. And Denak, I'm going to let you do the honors in this one. Take us away here as we get ready to go green here at Watkins Glen.
Yes, all of our competitors now getting ready to go 2 by 2, all 33, just eager to get ready to pounce on their cars, floor their accelerators, and get ready. They're just waiting there with the final few cars now getting ready on the first lap of the car here. They're all just waiting for that signal, waiting, anticipating. It's green, with Cafe and Plasma both flowing and going side by side into the lead. It seems to be actually Plasma now on the outside trying to squeeze in. Again, it's going to be Plasma squeezing Cafe on the outside of the turn one here. It's going to be now Plasma holding, taking the lead of the race here. Immediately, as we had just anticipated, it's going to be now Azure Code just right behind them. We also see a bit of an incident happening in the background of the car, so we're going to have to watch them later, because it's going to be now Simon Luck into the back of Azure Code here. All of them just fighting for that very first in the first run going into the bus stop chicane. It's going to be a bit of side-by-side swing happening from all of our competitors, with Plasma taking the inside line, the defensive line going into the bus stop chicane. It's going to be all of them close together, but it's going to be all the 4 cars able to navigate through cleanly. It's going to be now again Cavi now sneaking up on the inside into turn 5 here, able to just get that position back. But as we had just anticipated, Plasma got the pounce on the start of the race here, and now they're holding on that lead.
And I'm surprised right now, as I'm seeing most everybody got through the bus stop. That was impressive, as I believe there were a few cars in the background. Oh, a little bit shaky back there. I think it's 6th place right behind Joker. I think that was Saber, but managing to catch on. But yeah, as you can see, Plasma getting the drive off of turn 1, securing that lead, and right now Caffey's just got to stick with him and try and respond to that as we watch them take the heel for the first time here. A hard braking zone and tricky coming into turn 10. We'll see what Caffey does. If anything, gets very close to the bumper of Plasma there, but manages to stick with it and sticking close. So now the ball is in Caffey's court, with Plasma able to take advantage of what a nice start that Audi had. And now Plasma, all he needs to do is just stick to the line and defend. Wow, what a start.
Absolutely, indeed. This is exactly what we have seen from all of the previous races so far. We actually still see Cappy just not making it easy for Plasma to just get away into the horizon. Cappy's already getting really close into the braking zone, into turn 1 here, but it seems like Plasma was able to get the much better exit going off into turn 1 now towards the sweeping SS section into the back straight towards the bus stop chicane here. So it seems like the top 4, top 5 positions have settled in place here, but we see Wushu in the background crowding onto the ass of Saber Gitsun and now going towards the bus stop chicane here. It's going to be they're just hoping that you have a bit of a peek on the outside and on the inside of the bus stop, but again, wisely they decided to back out here, now just starting back behind Saber Gitsun, now going towards the outer loop towards turn 5 here. So again, it's going to be something they'll have to absolutely keep in mind here. We actually see a bit of a white flag happening in the background. Not quite sure what happened. It seems like we have had a couple cars here not going, and we see Fanmade quite far off the pace here. Not quite sure what happened. So we're going to have a bit of a replay to see if we can maybe catch on what they may have actually had and come up here. We see them quite slow on the exit of turn 1. Not quite sure if they are on the pit exit line here, so maybe they had went through the pit lane or some kind of incident that happened. We just lost a lot of position, so not quite sure what happened, but perhaps we'll have to find out after the race.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, I know there was a couple of incidents in the very beginning of the race, at least in turn 1. I know one of the cars was stopped at the very first lap. I'm not sure if there was another incident there, but yeah, as you can see, I mean, very tricky racing out from everybody as we watch Simon Luck now right behind Azure, putting the pressure on, and you know, this is going to be a consistent battle between everyone here, especially with the amount of cars here. And the tricky thing about being in this sort of train is that you have to be careful and pick your moves very carefully, because if you cannot make the move and make it stick, you're going to lose more than just trying to take the position. You're probably going to lose 1, 2, maybe even 3 or more, as all the cars are pretty much lying head of stern here in the first few laps. And it's still an amazing credit to these drivers. Most all of them, like 90% of them, are still just in a line, just racing together. Ooh, wow. And we see Vossi here just right behind Werschel, looking like that Vossi wants to make a move. Pretty brave, but it's of course the bus stop. Very difficult place to make it. As you can see, Vossi's going to back off there.
Yeah, but it seemed like that, them backing that has given the opportunity for Grim behind them to get really close into the bumper of Vossi here. Still having a bit of a peek now, going up on the outside, into the inside line, into turn 5, and that's going to be Vossi now on the defensive inside line, going into turn 6 here. There's going to be Grim still holding on that line, holding on strong, getting that speed card, and that's going to be Grim with the advantage going up into the inside line towards turn 7 here. It's going to be Grim getting that car out. It's going to be, it's going to be contact. It's going to be somebody going wide. You're not quite sure what happened here, but I get to see that absolutely on the read, to see what happened to Joker, to see them losing that many positions and giving Grim the opportunity to get up into the lead of that package. It's going to be having a look around here towards the turn 5 section here. They're still holding on strong here, but now let's see, perhaps something going down into the chute into turn 6. Something may have happened, not quite sure what so far.
Wide in the chute a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, it hit the grass and into the wall.
Oh, yeah.
There. Yeah, Joker's not going to be happy with that with a strong qualifying, but thankfully manages to keep it in and keep going.
Yeah, hopefully they don't have too much damage to be able to keep that car going and get back up into the race here. So hopefully not an early pit stop from them. But at the lead of the race here, we still have Plasma holding on strong here. But Caffey has not relented at all. Both Caffey and Plasma have just disappeared into the horizon, with Azure going already 2.5 seconds off from these lead 2 drivers here. With both of them just in another galaxy in pace here. Looking so far, we see our previous best lap times with Plasma and Caffey both able to get a 1:44.5 and 0.6 times here. With the second fastest time with Azure only a 46.1. As we now see Caffey on the outside line going into the bus stop chicane here. It's going to be very risky going side by side. It's going to be almost contact between the 2 cars here, but both of them able to navigate just barely squeezed wide here. So we can see, like, it is a very risky move, but if you are brave, as these 2 competitors are, there is a chance, and Caffey is making every single opportunity to get past Plasma again.
Yes, and of course, Plasma's taking the pressure very well, and knowing that, we saw it was going to be very risky going side by side, and, just like that, the time loss you get from there, I mean, a couple of tenths off, and I'm still impressed that they've managed to keep that advantage from 3rd place, as we see Arez right in the back looking to make a move on JPEG, it looks like. Coming in also 2x2, coming really close to the bus stop, having to brake a little harder than usual, but manages to make the move. Well done by Arez, and Arez is going to keep trying to move up there today in that grid spot.
Yes, indeed. We also see Juan B on the outside here. We are going a bit too wide into the exit of turn 5 here. Now it's giving the opportunity for Oras to have another peek now up onto the rear bumper of Juan B on the inside here line. It's going to be now Juan B. A bit of a poor exit from them, giving opportunity for Oras to now get up on the outside, going towards turn 6. A very deep send from the BMW M4 into turn 6 here, but able to just get that, a bit of a compromised exit though. Now perhaps giving the opportunity to Juan B. No, it's not going to be enough. It's going to be Juan B losing the position, with Oras rising up into P26 here with a very bold move into turn 6. So well done from him.
Well, that was risky, I would say. We saw that BMW slide a little bit going through the corner, and then of course, a little bit of contact there. It's just between Juan and JPEG, and JPEG going really wide there. Wow, it's the racing's close everywhere you look. Falmate right behind, just looking to make a move, or possibly being a little bit more conservative, not wanting to lose anything else here. I mean, giving that, JPEG's not in your class, I can understand, but you want to move up those positions.
Absolutely, indeed. We see JPEG able to hold on that position from Falmate so far here. We're going to have to watch very closely going out towards this section here in Sector 1 to see if Falmate is able to get that better run up into the car here. But we're going to have to return them later. We see more fighting happening between Bladewood and Zephyr. It seems that something has happened into the bus stop checker here. We see a lot of cars now losing time here, but we have to see another look up on the reap to see if we can maybe spot to see what exactly happened. So it's going to be seeing Zephyr and Blade going side by side. It's a bit of contact happening between the 2 competitors, losing a lot of time to Zephyr and giving the ability to Snowdog on the inside line here, able to get up right up onto that fight here, but it's going to be still Zephyr holding onto the lead here, but Snowdog is putting up all the pressure into the P3 spot in the amp classifications down here. This is going to be crucial points for all of our drivers here, so Snowdog is absolutely getting everything out of that car to get past the BMW M4 ahead.
Yeah, and exactly what I was talking about too. I mean, if you try a move and you're not able to actually complete it, it leaves you so vulnerable. But thankfully, with Zephyr here manages to keep the position for now. But there's something. And JPEG hard into the wall. We're gonna take a look back at that. That looked really nasty. Maybe touched a little grass. Maybe was not able to get the car stopped at the time.
No, I think they just missed their breaking point. They just missed their breaking point and sent off into the wall with serious damage. That's going to be catastrophe. And indeed, they have now teleported into the pits, and they are hopefully still going to be in the race, but that's going to be disaster for the Porsche 922 driver.
I wonder if it was just either like a lapse in concentration or perhaps maybe some equipment issues there. That was very uncharacteristic, like.
Absolutely indeed, but we're going to have to return to them later because we'll still see Kathy and Plasma holding on strong in their fight with nobody able to get away. Neither driver able to get away from the other here, with Kathy seems to have the slightly better pace of the two drivers so far here, but Plasma, the experienced driver that he is able to just put their car in the exact right spot to block the moves, block the passes, block the advances, and just giving them just enough of a space to hold on that lead and utilize the straight line speed of that Audi R8 to maintain the lead of the race so far.
And one of the things, if you can take a look at the attitude of Kathy's car, you can see a couple of the corners there sliding a little bit more than usual. As we see RS going really slow, looking like going down into outer loop. And we're going to take another look at that as well. Maybe it was a bus stop incident? Oh, yeah, as I was talking about earlier, those curbs, if you're not careful, oh, man, it just hit the wall on the exit there, but keeps going. Looked like that was quite a hit, but hopefully they can still continue. As we go down, we see Azure and Simon. Simon getting ever so close to Azure now, and trying to see if Simon can make a move. As we've seen so far, moves have been difficult to come by, and you have to make sure you are committed once you get to it. So we'll see if Simon can get a decent exit and maybe some slipstream to finally make the move, and it's going to be at the bus stop. So we're going to take a look at this battle and see how it pans out.
Yeah, they're going to have to be very careful though, because I saw both Azure and Simon going wide into the exit of turn 1 here. And if you're not going to be careful, you're going to be getting the drive-through penalty with those track limit 1 here. But I'm going to be seeing now Simon up on the outside into the inside, going to the part of chicane here. There's going to be then not enough space here. Again, it's going to be then compromising their line, giving Abel the opportunity for Saber to get right up onto the back of Simon Lock here. But Simon was able to hold on their car just close enough here to hold up that advance on Saber. But again, we see again, if they just don't get that line just right, if they compromise their exit, that's going to be giving the opportunity for the car behind to just slide right past them into turn 5 here. Thankfully, Simon Lock was able to hold on that advance for now, but they've lost massive amounts of time with that move. They're just going to have to go back up into catching into the back of Azure again and make another passing attempt.
Yeah, and it just seems Saber got caught out a little bit there. I mean, we saw how slow Simon was coming out of that corner there after trying to make the move on Azure, and Saber looked like, and Araz, as we just saw, a huge incident looked like coming out of, I'm not sure if that was the boot or the toe there. Oh!
Yeah, I think they just caught a little tiny bit of grass into the inside line, into the SS, that caused them to just lose the car, and now they're also unfortunately in the pits and out of the race. So another unfortunate duty. The entire SS section here is a very risky section. If you don't get that absolutely right, you have these walls right up on the left and right. That's going to give you massive damage, as we just saw there.
Yeah, and that's the risk reward here. You know, you have to take those risks if you want to remain competitive. But unfortunately, you know, if you can't take them right, then it could be race ending. And you know, we practice this, and you know, as a driver, you want to make sure you do everything you can to stay consistent. But it only takes one little bit. Oh, we got Small Jack in the grass too. It looks like right out of the bus stop. I wonder if they hit the curb a little hard there.
Yeah, it looks to be another case of them just sending it a bit too hard into the curbing of the bus stop chicane here. We're going to be watching them closely now. They're just going to be approaching into the entry of the bus stop here, going left and right and left again. It's going to be them cutting up on the inside of the curbing a little bit too much. Unfortunately, sending their car sliding and a little tap on the wall here. So hopefully not too much damage here, but that's going to be costing them massive amounts of time. And that's something you have to keep in mind. The inside of the curbing into the bus stop chicane, it's a sudden steep drop. So if you get your wheel on the inside line of the curbing here, that's going to be your car just immediately in the water. We can see another yellow flag happening from randomly. They're going very, very slow. A lot of yellow flags happening here. We're just having a trouble keeping up with all of them. We're going to be having a look up on the replay here to see what exactly happened. They're going to be then going up. Oh, they just went a bit too wide into the exit of turn 6 here. Spinning car, very dangerously, almost collecting Joker and Tiny Fox here, but able to keep their car pointed the right way and going again. So very good recovery from Randomly, but they do not want to be having any more spins.
No, I have to say that was an amazing recovery by Randomy there. Once you hit that grass, as we saw earlier in the race, I think it was from Joker, you hit the wall on the left side 9 times out of 10 for Randomly to keep where he was at, impressive stuff. And credit to the other drivers as well for not running into him.
Absolutely, indeed. We're also seeing a bit of a fight happening between Grim, Bushel, and Saber and Simon, all getting really close together in this top 4 fight here. So far, we see now Grim getting a really good launch into the exit of turn 1 here. That's getting within just using that slipstream, getting closer and closer now towards the exit into turn 3, and now getting ready for the bus stop chicane here. We see Grim. Bushel holding on the outside line here, with Grim getting really close. It seems like Grim is not making the move here, sticking so far, but we can see all 5 cars here from P4, P3 up into P. Actually, we can see a bit of an incident happening between the cars here. It's gonna be a Saber up on the inside of Simon, like going into turn 6 here. It's gonna be Simon losing a position. I think it's gonna be another unfortunate send into this bus stop chicane, costing them a lot of time. But again, it's gonna be Simon able to get that car sent a tiny bit faster into turn 7 here, giving the opportunity for Simon to hold on that position. But we see also Grim and Bushel in the background. Everybody bunch up together. We see a bit of a wiggle happening with Saber. It's gonna be then losing a lot of time. It's gonna be given the opportunity. It's a disaster. They lost 2 positions in that one tiny mistake into turn 7. A very treacherous, very tricky low grip zone, and they're just paying for that very dearly now.
And you can just see how high the stakes are here. We got one little mistake where most of the time, you know, nothing really comes of it, but here that's 2 positions. Just one little understeer moment and you lose the rear of the car, and that's it. You've gone from 5th to 7th. Wow.
Yes, indeed. All of our competitors are going to have to be very careful, because we, as I was trying to mention before, that is that the exit of turn 1 is going to be a very risky. So we're going to be seeing Cappy again, having a set up on the inside of turn 1 here into Plasma, again having another move, and now going to be Cappy getting really close into the back of Plasma, going through the SS now towards the bus stop chicane. So this could be the opportunity that Cappy has been looking forward to get that send finally made here. We're going to be watching them very closely now. Cappy again closing in closer and closer, but I don't think it's going to be enough for him to make that send, but he's going to be looking, he's having a peek, but he's going to be thinking better of it and backing out again. But we're going to be seeing there's nothing separating these 2 competitors here in the lead of the race here. It's absolutely the same happening here between Simon and Asher again. Simon finally able to get that send happen into the bus stop chicane, getting past Asher, who's going to be the major cork in the bottle with this entire top 3 from P3 down into P7, with Simon like finally able to get that move to stick after so many laps stuck behind the McLaren 720S.
And getting stuck behind that now, you know, you have to deal with who's behind you after that. I mean, Simon finally taking that last podium spot for now. I mean, we're about 17 minutes into this race right now, and we've just seen non-stop action. One of the things I'm actually a little worried about, at least up in the front too, is that how these tires are being worn. These guys are racing really hard, and we still have another, I believe, 7-8 minutes or so before the first pit window opens. So, you know, if you can manage to become that tire whisperer and get the most of the tires, especially later in the stint, as we've already seen, small mistakes are all it takes to get moves done. So, you know, we'll see if that plays out.
Yeah, actually, the pit window is going to be opening within the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds here. So this is going to be giving the opportunity for some of our drivers to perhaps go for an early pit stop. But that's going to be the risk you have. If you go for the early pit stop, go for the undercut, you're going to be stuck with those tires for the next 40 minutes of the race here. And this could give you a big risk that your tires just die at the end of the race, and giving the opportunity for the later pit stop guys to get back up into the fight here, to get the moves done here. Actually, we're going to be seeing also Saber getting really close into the back of Bushel, into the SS section. That's going to be almost bumper to bumper going towards the chicane section of the bus stop here. It's going to be Saber probably having a big, yes, they're going to be going up on the inside of Bushel into turn 5 here towards the bus stop again. They're going to be back. As we can see contact. It's going to be Grim. It's Grim. It's Simon. They're both out. They've crashed. It's disaster. We're going to have to see immediately on the replay to see what happened between these 2 cars. We're going to be seeing going side by side. It's a lap car. It's a lap car. They're going to be hitting together. Oh no, that's a disaster. I do believe that was the car of that was a Bentley of 653 of Classy Fennekin, I think, who was collected in that incident. A disastrous incident, dropping Simon like all the way down into P7 from that unfortunate crash.
I think Saber was involved a little bit of that as well. And that's what I was talking about, especially in the bus stop. You know, you get lap traffic, you get interesting situations that come up. Just getting caught out like that, you'd hate to see that as a driver and a competitor, but it does happen.
Yes, indeed, it happened. Now we see Bossy into the back of Simon Luck here. Now hoping to capitalize on this incident happening from Simon. I do believe Simon is going to be carrying a bit of damage from that incident. So they're going to be just trying to hopefully nurse that car long enough until they get into the pit lane here and get that damage fixed. We see them going really wide into the exit of turn 10 here, into turn 11 here. Just barely keeping that car in one place, but they're going to have to be here. So we're going to see it's yellow flag. It's Caffey, Plasma. They've come together. They've crashed. Oh my god, what's happening? We need to see immediately on the street to see what exactly has happened here. They're going to be then going side by side almost. Now it's going to be then going really close into the exit of turn 11. It seems like Plasma compromised their exit, giving the opportunity for Caffey to get up right up on the inside the line there. That's going to be Caffey having a peek and get into turn 1. It's going to be not enough here, but it's going to be Caffey sending it. Oh, Caffey's... Oh my god. Caffey, there was actually no contact. They both just psyched each other out, had a spin, and that was the strangest overtake I have seen in my entire career. A spin into the exit of turn 1, giving Plasma the lead of the race here again, despite that. And oh my god.
I think what ended up happening, what it looked like, Caffey was a little bit late on the brakes there, and Plasma was coming to turn 1. Caffey tried to avoid in the grass. I'm not sure if it was contact or Plasma just spun, but the circumstance of it all sent them both super wide into turn 1, and so I think Caffey might have seen some contact on their end, which is why I believe Caffey gave the place back to Plasma. But wow, what an exchange! Oh, that's Zephyr! It's Zephyr out of the bus stop. We're gonna again another replay. Oh, going too wide. Oh, looks like they did that themselves, and just couldn't grip into the front tires. And ends up into the wall, and after a good run in M, I mean, that's going to be a lot of damage to repair. That's a lot in the front there, and as you can see, Zephyr's going really slow.
Yeah, thankfully the pit window is now open, so that gives the opportunity for Zephyr to get into the pit lane to fix that damage, and having the opportunity. Oh, it's going to be almost contact. Oh, brushing up on the wall of the 404 Ferrari 488 here into the exit of the into the boot here. So Zephyr is absolutely thankful for that pits window to be open. We also see the first of our damaged cars here getting into the pit lane here. We see Saber, Kitsune, and Joker both getting that damage fixed early on here. So they're going to be opting for the undercut, but hopefully they're still going to be in the race despite after they get their damage fixed.
You know, I do have to say, one driver that has been coming really under the radar, has been keeping it clean so far, is Grim Lilith. Grim Lilith right now started from, I believe, 11th, is now up to 4th place. 7 places so far, and it just goes to show you keep your nose clean and you keep yourself consistent, and you're right up there in the top spots.
Yes, indeed. We're actually going to see BC. Actually, no, that was the mistaken yellow flag. That was him then just slowing down into the pit lane. So we're going to have to return to them later. We see, because it's going to be Grimlith and Wushu now in their own fight for the P4 spot of the race here. Both hoping to get up into the top 3 fight, with the Azure holding a bit of a lead gap from the other cars ahead of it. Here, so it's going to be interesting. We see Wushu getting really close into the exit of the boots here. We see them almost brushing the back of the Ferrari 26. I think there may be a little bit of contact here. I'm not quite sure, but they are very close there.
Yeah, Wushu did make just light contact with Grim Limit at the rear there, but thankfully nothing much in terms of losing grip, so they both keep going. But wow, that was close.
Absolutely, indeed. So there's a lot of action happening up and down through the entire length of the race here with all of our competitors. We actually see another yellow flag happening. I do believe there was another lap car here spinning wide. Just gonna have another quick look up on the replay to see what exactly happened with it. So going up there, giving way for a couple of lapped cars around here, and I do believe may actually just be my timing board giving me a bit of a prank here, saying there was a yellow flag when there was actually just Small Jack giving way for the lap cars ahead here. So we're gonna have to return to them later.
I think they were just going so slow that they thought there was the timing scoring software thought there was an incident. But as you can see, you know, respectful to say the least. Making sure that the cars go by, and after what we've seen at the bus stop in some of these quarters, I can certainly relate to that.
Absolutely, indeed. We're now going to be seeing a bit of lap traffic happening between Plasma and Cappy here. So as we saw earlier, that lap traffic could be giving you a bit of that opportunity just close enough to get the move on. We see that both Cappy and Plasma getting away from that. I do believe that was the number 12 car of JPEG Fox. They were getting out of the way of. You see them going really wide into the wall here again. They are again sent too far off. We're gonna have to see on the leader to see exactly what happened with that. So quite a strange incident here. So we're gonna be seeing that again. JPEG giving away into the exit. And, oh, they just missed their brakes. They just missed their brakes and again hit the wall.
I think they were paying too much attention to the two cars in front. Totally forgot that the braking zone was there and just ended up into the wall. Oh, and you can just see how everything's playing out here as Newt now on the back of Dipping Sauce, trying to make the move. Oh, they touch, just barely make contact. They both managed to stay alive going into, I believe that's turn 10 now. And wow, it's elbows out here at Watkins Glen, almost everywhere you look.
Yes, absolutely. Nobody's giving an inch to each other here. Just the barest minimum of space to hold on to their car in one piece, and nobody's giving. Yeah, it's just very close fighting happening from all of our competitors. We also see, I do believe something happened between the cars of Grim and Saber Kitchen. I do believe both of them have now served their pits up, who are now sitting currently down into P21 and P22. So we're going to be watching them very, very close to see if they're going to be rising up into the field here after the cars ahead are going to be finishing with their pit stops.
Yeah, no, and we have a fight going on down, I believe, near 17th and 18th place between Wolfen and Cohen getting a decent exit out there. Oh, going into, believe, turn 11. Oh, but Wolfen managing to fight it off. Look at that, still holding on to the turn, coming into turn 12, the last turn here. Whoa, almost making contact, but Cohen managing to make the move and moving up there. Not a position place for their division, but certainly something is. Oh, Wolfen makes a dive into turn 1. Oh, very.
It's almost contact between Wolfen and Falamate.
With Falamate, and Falamate gets.
Oh my god.
Falamate getting the better of that exchange. Wow, up 2 places from the mistake from both Cohen and Wolfen.
That was some clinical driving from Falamate, capitalizing on that tiny bit of mistake from Cohen and Wolfie Foxtel, now getting up into P70 position here. We also see now, I think that's the lap car Zephyr right behind them as well. Yeah, giving way from the other faster cars ahead of them. We also see something happened between, I do believe it was MN underscore and Vix here. We see now MN underscore losing a lot of time here. Now it's going to be Vix holding on a P12 position in the race so far. So an incredible drive from the Blue Am driver so far. We're almost touching the top 10 with an AM car, so I am absolutely expecting this car to be up in silver fight in the next
coming
season
up.
to come.
Coming up now, it's like, oh, there's, you know, we've seeing the pit strategy play out now as we take a look at Newt coming in. You know, Newt was battling, I believe, and as we can see in the graphic there, you know, your pit stop is going to be about 56 seconds. So you want to be able to make sure that you get in there and you make your stop and you come out, but that's the time lost you're looking at when you come in. As we take a look now, going down, I believe there was another fight going between Simon, but we're just going to take a look here at the replay. I believe if this is of...
This is Kathy and Plasma, because we just saw a switch in the lead of the race here. We see Kathy finally able to get that move to stick. I do believe that's going to be in bus stop, with Plasma taking a bit of a defensive line into the bus stop chicane. Oh, they went wide. They lost it. This was just the opportunity that Kathy needed to just set it up on the inside, and they are now in the lead of the race here. The position has been swapped. Now it's going to be the ball in Plasma's court to see if they can have an answer to that BMW M4.
As you can see, that mistake, again, all it takes, just coming into the bus stop there, just lost the rear end only for a moment, and just like that, you've gained a position and Caffey's a second ahead. That's all it takes.
Yes, we do see it that Plasma was kind of a cork in the bottle for Kathy, not able to get away from the BMW M4 ahead. So now with Kathy able to inherit the lead of the racer, they're probably just going to be opening up all of the valves on that big, beefy BMW M4 engine here, just getting away from Plasma. We're going to be seeing if Plasma is going to be able to keep up with that car into the latter half of the race here. This is going to be crucial points in the pro overall standings here, with Plasma still holding on the lead so far. But if Kathy is able to get the pole position and the win of the race, so that's going to be the maximum 26 points. That's going to be probably not going to be enough for Plasma to lose their P1 position, but the gap's going to be certainly much closer as we go in for the final round of the race in Coda.
Yeah, then it's going to be critical here, especially for Caffey, to get the points while they can here, especially because you're going into the final round. Having that momentum is going to be huge, and so you really want that. And if you can capitalize on the mistake and carry it into the end, you know, that's what you want to do. However, as we know, neither of them, I believe, have stopped yet. So we'll see how that strategy comes out as they're coming onto, I believe, a lapped car right ahead. I believe that's... Which car is that?
Yeah, that would be the car number 51 of Small Jack here in the middle of the Fleet 2 tires here, with Plasma giving a bit of a disapproving flash to the McLaren ahead of them. They're not happy with losing time behind that because they are in a very crucial top 2 championship deciding fight here right now, so they do not want to waste a single second behind lap cars.
No, and any 10th you can gain, you know, you'd want to take that, but thankfully it seems as if there's not much damage time-wise that has been done, but, you know, knowing Plasma's going to want to make sure that they stay within striking distance of Caffey at all times, and then this is what I was talking about here, the tricky turn 12, especially when the pit strategies are playing out. As you can see, that's how you catch up to another car there, is Azure right now on the back of Cohen. Not a fight for position in class, but still, you want to move up, especially if you just pitted, which Azure has, and wants to make their way up the field, try and gain as many spots as they can.
Yeah, it looks like Cohen made the smart choice of just backing out and giving way for the over pro class driver here and then focusing on their own race, because Cohen is on a pretty decent position so far. They're sitting P4 in the silver standings at the moment, so this fight is not for them.
Coming out and in class!
Oh no, we just need to see on the replay to exactly see what happened with these cars here. We're gonna have a bit of a quick refresh. So they're gonna be, they just sent it too hard into turn 6 here, almost hitting the side of Grim and it's no. Oh, Simon and Cohen did come together into the exit of turn 6 here, with Simon being that was a very unusual incident happening from these two cars. That's gonna be giving the opportunity for Grim to get right up into the rear of Simon again and get back up to the fight and hopefully overtake their fellow pro driver here. So again, these very crucial incidents, these tiny few tenths lost, that's gonna be it for you. That's gonna be giving your rival to get right past you. We see now Grim in the back of Simon into the start-finish straight here, now getting ready to perhaps have a bit of a peek into turn 1 here. It's not going to be quite close enough so far, but they are going to be almost touching the bumper of that Aston Martin V8, so this could be the chance they need to get that sent down into the bus stop.
Yes, and as we can see, I believe tie-in with a 30-second drive-through?
I do believe that is a stop go 30, and usually you
That's
get those
stop,
if you just...
That's a stop go 30-second penalty.
Yeah, that is indeed a stop go 30, so I do believe they may have just gone a bit too fast. Actually, we do see a bit of a yellow flag. Oh no, I'm mistaken. That was just both Caffey and Plasma opting to go into the pit lane at the same time, so this is going to be a very crucial moment between both of our competitors here to see who can get the best pit stop possible here, to see perhaps... I don't believe either of them have any damage, so it's going to be down to if perhaps Plasma can get that just perfect pit stop to get pounce past Caffey in the pit lane here. So it's going to be a very crucial fight. We're going to have to return to them later because you see also how fighting happening between Saber Kitsune and Vossi in P8 and P9 here. Saber getting really close into the back of that Porsche 922 here. So far, hoping to get up further standings here. So, yeah, this is going to, again, Vossi has not been known to give way for higher classification cars here. So it's going to be very interesting to see if how this fight is going to be developing here between these two cars.
I know Vossi is going for positions here, so I know Vossi is going to defend, especially given that, you know, at this point, they're racing pros pretty much consistently. So, seeing the racecraft play out, I'm not expecting Vossi to give an inch to Saber. Saber's going to have to work for that, and that's going to be a pain in the side of Saber, as Saber's trying to catch up to Grim, Lilith, and Simon.
Yes, and speaking of the lead of the race here so far, we see Caffey and Plasma now getting out of the race here. We see a whopping 5-second gap has opened between the leading two cars here, with Plasma not able to get that pit stop just. I'm not quite sure what happened with him to lose that much time, but this could be the exact stroke of luck that Caffey needs to get this win done so far, with Plasma just miles off the pace here and losing even more time as Caffey goes to bus stop here. So this could be it for these two cars.
That's surprising. I'd expect them to have the same strategy in almost the same time. I really wonder if it might have been just a poor exit out of the pits for Plasma.
That could have
just been now.
It. But
no, as we see now going back to Randomy and Joker, another battle here coming into the straight in the bus stop. We've seen so many incidents here so far, and we're just now a little bit past the halfway point of the race. And so everything seems to be settling down a little bit more now. Gaps are forming. Some battles are here as we switch up to Saber. Saber goes really wide all into those marbles. and it's going to be very hard to get the move done through those.
Yeah, that's not going to be optimal for the grip of your tires to be on those smart positions. And indeed, they lost a bit of time on that exit. Now, again, 4/10 off from Vossi, their fellow competitor ahead of them. But we're going to be seeing the Ferrari usually has the advantage into these final couple corners here, into turn 9, 10, and 11 here. We do believe there's a bit of there's also Grim just ahead of these two cars as well here. So if Saber and Vossi can step up on the pace here, they could have a chance to even get back up into the top 5 fight here from for Simon Luck in Grim.
It is possible. Grim's last lap was a 146.5, and Saber's was a 145.2. Vossi came out of the... Vossi just did a 145.2, and Saber did a 145.9, coming across start-finish line there. So, I mean, they can catch up, as Wisho, I believe, is just coming out of the pits now, just finishing their strategy, and being that they're on cold tires, that just may be what Vossi needs right now. Maybe a little bit of distraction, get ahead of that, and make Saber work that much more.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what's going to be happening. I don't think Vossi is going to be close enough into the bus stop to make a move here so far, but Bushu is going to have to warm up those tires very quickly if she's going to want to have a chance at getting up into speed and perhaps even getting back up into the fight for P5 here with Grim in the head of this pack here, but it's not going to be a lot of space between them. We also see Simon and Asher still fighting for top 3 in the background, in the foreground there as well, and it's going to be a very, very close fight happening between all of them. As we actually see something happening here, it's going to be Newt losing a lot of time here. They lost 2 positions, not quite sure what happened. We're gonna have to have a look up on the replay to see what exactly was going on here. It's gonna be them Newt holding on the lead so far, going up into bus stop, but I do believe that may have been just a crucial mistake, going a bit too far, losing the rear in the bus stop chicane. We're going to have to watch them very close here. Now they're going to be Newt holding the lead so far, but as they get sent into the chicane, ooh, it's going to be a bounce up on the inside line of that curbing here, losing 2 positions with 1 mistake. So a very unfortunate move from Newt, but hopefully they can get back up into speed and get back up into the fight.
Yes, and of course, again, the bane of all of these drivers right now, that bus stop, it's that bus stop and then the exit of the chute. It's just been causing all sorts of problems. All the drivers, as Warshow takes a big hit against the wall, trying to maximize the exit of the final turn there. Oh, wonder if that's a little bit of damage as, wow, Vossi takes the move, and so does Saber, and Warshow goes off of the track and comes to a stop. I wonder if the damage is critical there. They're coming to move again, but yeah, that was one heck of a incident there.
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate. That was the risk you too. If you send it really hard into the exit of turn 11 here, if you just hit that wall, you're going to be losing all of that time, and unfortunately cost Bushul very losing 3 positions in that 1 mistake. But that's going to be very unlucky for Saber, who's now going to be caught up into the back of Vossi into the turn 5 and turn 6 section here. It's going to be very close between these 2 cars here. Saber trying to have a bit of a peek up on the outside of turn 7 here, but it's not going to be quite enough for them to make a move here. So far, we're going to be seeing Saber getting very eager, very anxious to get past this silver Porsche driver here, so who is definitely not driving in silver pace.
No, definitely not. I mean, Vossi right now, 6th place overall, an impressive, very impressive drive so far, managing to keep their nose clean, and that's the result. Combine that with the wonderful defensive driving we're seeing right now, holding Saber back, and it's such a great result for him so far. As we now switch to Simon Luck right now in the back of Azure, again, battles for the podium positions aplenty.
Yes, indeed, we're seeing them. Both of these cars have not been able to be separated at all throughout the entire race. I think, like, bar the little cycle in their pit stops, they have not been apart by more than a second through the entire race here. So it's a very close fight between them. And I do believe at one point Simon managed to get ahead of them. But again, we see them going a bit too wide into the exit of turn 1 here. So if you're not careful, you can get a very large amount of track limit warnings from turn 1 here. That's going to be a very unfortunate drive through, and that's the last thing you want when you're fighting for top 3.
Yeah, you have to be very careful. And in the meantime, Plasma's pace has dropped off. Something has happened. Plasma's now 10 seconds back from Kathy, and Azure Goat is slowly gaining at about a second, a half a second, a lap. I wonder if something happened to the car out of the pit stop. I wonder if Plasma had damage at the exit, at pit exit, and now is trying to struggle through it because his pace is dropped precipitously.
Yeah, it is looking not good for that Audi R8 at all. Their last lap time was a 1:46.5. That's over 2 seconds off their top time so far. We also see actually already catching up to the back of that Audi R8, already going up into the boot here towards the heels. So that's a very disastrous drive here. But this is exactly what Cavi wants. If Plasma can drop a few more positions, that could be just the few points that he needs to inherit the lead of the championship going into the final round here. We're gonna have to watch them very closely now. They're going very close into the turn 8, turn 9, turn 11 section here. It's gonna be Simon like almost brushing now into the back of Asher Gold here, but again backing out into the into turn 10 and turn 11 here. So both Simon and Asher are going to be very eager to get into the top 3, but it's anybody's guess to see who's going to be the one in top 3 at the end of this race.
Well, taking a look at the speed trap at the end of turn 5, going all the way down into the bus stop, Plasma's speed has been about 260, whereas everyone else around him has been 267, 269. Plasma has lost some significant straight line speed, and as we take a look at the replay here, I mean, some more off tracks, and almost a spin. No, indeed a spin. Ooh.
Yeah, that was the car number 808 of MN Underscore, who unfortunately sent it a bit too fast into the bus stop chicane, losing, I think it was 4 positions in the end. Now all the way down in P18, so not a drive they want from the Pro Class Protogen here. So hopefully they have about 20 minutes left to go here, so hopefully they can back up into that fight. But we also see, actually, we saw also an overtake happening between Simon and Azure. I do believe there was a bit of a position swap happening, but now it's going to be Azure going again in the lead of the race here, in the lead of that little fight here. I apologize. So we're going to have another look up on the replay to see what exactly happened between these two. It's going to be Simon up on the outside into the bus stop chicane. So this looks to be a very, very familiar situation for both of these cars here. Simon just trying to get that absolute little tiny bit of space here up on the inside of this bus stop, but it's not going to be enough. Just no amount yeah, it's not going to be enough.
No, and you need more momentum, but you know, as we come back, even there, it's coming very close again. That bus stop just making life hard for all of these drivers today.
Absolutely, indeed, and that's going to be the risky thing about the bus stop chicane, because the inside of the curbing on the bus stop, it's just a sheer drop. So if you go a little bit too fast into the curbing on the bus stop, there's going to be your drive immediately dropping down into that very sharp drop. So it's going to be bouncing your car, unsettling it, and very much giving you a risk of just losing the car entirely, as we've seen many times from all of our competitors so far. We also see a bit of a lap traffic cars happening ahead, a lot of blue flags being waved. I do believe that's going to be the cars of JPEG Fox. It can be again JPEG sending off into the distance with another spin. We're gonna have to see on the replay to see what exactly happened with it. They're gonna be giving away into. Oh, it's gonna be Plasma. Plasma hit them on the rear. Oh Lord, JPEG just barely managed to catch that spin here, but not the drive they want to be doing here. So hopefully they're gonna be getting back up into that fight here, but not gonna be happy about that.
Just like that, Azure is within a second of Plasma, within striking distance, as Simon has been trying so hard to get back that podium position. But if Plasma's pace stays where it's at, it might not be long until Simon may get podium anyway. But Plasma seems to have picked it up a little bit more now. After all the fighting, his last lap was just about a 146, and Azure and Simon both did a 146.1. So I think Plasma's now really feeling the pressure.
Absolutely, indeed. It seems like there may have been a little bit of just caving in under pressure, where we see actually it's going to be a bit of yellow flag happening from Randomly. So I do believe that we're actually just ahead of Plasma in this car here. So we're going to have to see on the replay to see what exactly happened with them. To see up on the replay here, it's going to be then going to believe that it's going to be turn 6. Yes, it's going to be. Oh, it's again going a bit too deep into the exit of turn 6 here and losing it. And unfortunately, this time they were not able to catch that. They lost massive amounts of time, and that car's got to be carrying some serious damage after that incident.
Yeah, especially the front end too. It's, my good friend Grass at the end of the chute claimed so many drivers today.
Absolutely, indeed. But we're going to be seeing Plasma able to have crawled a bit of pace again from Azure and Simon Luck. I do believe Azure and Simon Luck fighting is going to be giving Plasma the opportunity to stay ahead in P2 and keep those crucial 22 points they would have for finishing in P2 position here. So it's going to be perhaps not quite advantageous for Simon and Azure to be fighting each other so hard. because the more they fight, the more opportunity it gives for Plasma to just stay ahead. It's going to be, it's going to be a bit of a wiggle happening from Simon, doing a bit of a dive on the inside, then on the outside into bus stop. Again, they're going to be going side by side almost into bus stop, with Simon again backing out. So a very frustrating moment for Simon, just looking so many times into the outside, sometimes even over and under the McLaren 720S, but still not able to find that space to make the overtake to stick.
Right now, that fight between them is preventing them from catching up with Plasma, because in Sector 1 right now, they are almost consistently 5 to 6 tenths faster than Plasma. But because they're going so slow on the bus stop, it prevents them from making any further progress with the rest of the sectors of the track. So if they want to get up there, you know, I know Simon is fighting hard, so that might not be on the top of his mind right now, but it may be worth it as he looks to the inside again, coming out of the heel, and Simon wants by. But Azure's trying to look ahead of him because he sees Plasma slowing down, and I know Azure wants that second place.
Absolutely, indeed. Azure is also fighting for that very crucial lead of the championship here in the overall category. So they are just being a massive cork in the bottle for 2, 3, 4 different cars. We see Grim, Swossi, Saber, all behind this pack here, all eager to get past this traffic jam that is forming up into the top 3 positions here. With if there could be even a tiny bit of incident happening from Azure, could drop them all the way down into the back of this pack into P8 potentially. So they're gonna have to be absolutely on the top of their game to keep on to this P3.
And now Simon's going to have to think twice about making another move on Azure, because if Simon is unable to make the move stick, then what's going to happen is Simon's going to drop back 2 positions. Now, I just need to point out, Vossi in the position that he's at right now is absolutely incredible. Right now, you are fighting for 3rd place. You are in the group for 3rd. So, at this point, everything is just sunshine and roses for you. But for Azure and Simon, the pressure is now completely on. Full bore.
Absolutely, indeed. And we also see Plasma losing a bit of time again and giving the opportunity for Azure to catch up into the back of the Pro Audi R8 again. So it's going to be them also catching up into this fight here. We also see a bit of a Newt and Randomly also getting really close together into the bus stop chicane here, with Newt perhaps having a bit of a peek up on the inside of the chicane, but not able to find that space to get the move to stick here. We also see at the very back, we see Weiss and Snowdog. Now Snowdog going with a bit of a set on the inside of turn 1. It's going to be a big dive, almost contact between the 2 cars here. It's going to be them compromising their exit, now giving the opportunity for Weiss to stay alongside. They're now going to be going side by side into the very tricky SS into the turn 1 here. Be very careful. This could be a very easy case for an inside here. It's going to be almost a bit of a wiggle happening from the BMW M4 here, but it's going to be Weiss now trying to losing it. They lost a bit of time there into the bit of a dip on the grass here in the SS here, and now unfortunately losing that position. But a very brave move from the Bentley. No, they sent it. They went too fast. They lost all that progress they made in turn 1. They're going to be dropping 2 positions, 3 positions. It's going to be, oh my God, almost collected that McLaren ahead of them. So one crucial mistake into the bus stop, and they've lost all that progress they made. How unfortunate.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. And after you fought so hard to make that move too, but that's racing for you, and especially given all the cars we've seen here today, the name of the game has been consistency. Plus, we see MN underscore spun out right now. We'll take a little replay at that. I think that was at the chute, just coming way too wide. Of course, you get no grip on the outside when your tires are on the grass there, and ends up at the apex there. Whew. Close one there with a couple of drivers passing by, but yeah, that's
an incident happening from Simonluck. Simonluck sent it. Simonluck's also off into the chicane section of the bus stop again, so we're going to have another look up on the replays again here. We're going to see more replays, and actually, we seem to always miss it, but we're going to be seeing again Simon getting really close up into the bumper. This was their best sense so far. They're going to be now Azure going up on the defensive inside line into the bus stop chicane with the Plasma also right ahead, and so there's no space for anywhere for Simon to go. There's going to be them coming together. Azure's hit it. Azure hit the back of Simon, and they sent it off into the Shadowland with that move. Now Azure's dropped down into P4. That's going to be Grim Lilith with an incredible P3 after starting P11. So an incredible drive from the controller. Ferrari 296 driver now challenging Plasma for 2nd place in the race.
Oh, what incredible drive from Grim Lilith, and especially because now up 8 places now from all the incidents that's happened, and and looking to strike for second place after something that you would look to see you'd have no chance of getting. Now it's right in front of you as we go back now with Saber behind Vossi. And again, this fight for the top 5, and just so you know, Vossi being a silver driver, this is top 5 overall, pro, silver, and AMs. Vossi's had one heck of a drive and is trying to defend that top 5 position.
Yeah, they are defending that for the time of their lives. We also see Azure, despite that incident, still holding on to that fight here with the top 3. We now see Grim into the back of Plasma here, going up into the bus stop chicane. That's going to be Grim on the outside, getting ready to challenge Plasma on a very tricky set, side by side in the bus stop. There's going to be almost contact between the two, but somehow both of them are clean. They avoided the incident. It's Grim through. But that's going to be Plasma on the inside into the shoot here, into turn 5 here. There can be one last chance for Plasma to hold on to that position, but no, a brave set holding side by side through the entirety of bus stop without incident and into P2. An incredible drive from Grim.
Incredible move, keeping it very close to Plasma, not making any contact, especially in the bus stop. One of the most tricky places to make a pass, and what has seen so many drivers fail and hit the wall today and spin. Grim making it look almost easy on Plasma. What incredible drive. It has gone from 11th to 2nd. Wow, what an amazing drive.
Yeah, if we rewarded Driver of the Day rewards, this would be absolutely going to Grim with that incredible drive so far. We also see Asher now finally caught up into the back of Plasma here. That's challenging for P3, so it's not going to be very important points again for Asher to hopefully get ahead of their competitor and Plasma. Again, we said Plasma going a bit too wide into the exit of turn 10 here, giving Plasma the worst run up into turn 10. Oh, it's going to be Plasma. He's hit the ball. He's hit the ball. He's got damage. He's losing a lot of time. He's going to be now going to be Vossi. It's going to be Saber. It's going to be Simon. All hoping to get past that Audi RN. So it's going to be Vossi now on the inside, having a bit of a peek into turn 1 here, but not going to be close enough to make that move to stake here. But a critical area is going to be Plasma, also losing their rear a little bit into a turn 1 here. Now Asher's through. That's going to be Plasma hoping to hold off that chart from Vossi now into the SS section here. That Audi's going to be limping, just desperately holding on to any shred of points he has left after a catastrophic accident.
Oh my goodness, and it's gone from being all right to absolute disaster as Vossi takes the inside line there. Oh, but you know, backs off, making sure that they can both get through. Very smart move by Vossi. I mean, at this point, you know, you really don't want to take adverse risk. As much as you'd want 4th place, you know, you've seen Plasma hit the wall, you know you can get the pass done. So Vossi is playing it very smart here, waiting to make the move, and something amazing from a silver driver, just absolute poise and confidence in their car with someone that has won championships against a championship winning driver. It's incredible to see.
Yeah, this is a disaster and described very many incidents and unfortunate accidents happening for Plasma. Now all the way down in P4 and risking to lose it down into P6 potentially if he cannot hold off this advance from Vossi and Saber Kitsune right behind him. We also see Azure Coach trying to just desperately catch up into the front of the Grim Lilith here, hoping to get pumped up into that P2. This would also be crucial points happening to that car. Oh, it's going to be almost contact happening between the lap. I do believe that is going to be the lap car of Bex or Roofing Fox still. That's going to be right there. That's going to be the car number 529 of Roofing Fox right there. Also causing a bit of a happenstance between these two cars, but they both managed to navigate just barely through there. And that's going to be now this very crucial start-finish straight here. That's going to be Vossi getting closer and closer and closer. It's going to be Vossi having a bit of a peek up on the inside of turn 1 here. It's going to be making a bit of a send, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to be backing out that right at the last minute. That's going to be giving Saber Kitsune the better launch into the SS section now towards bus stop. So it's going to be Vossi also getting even closer into the back of Plasma. That's going to be almost touching that bumper. That's going to be giving them the best opportunity to have that sent into the bus stop chicanes. Are going to be seen. Plasma taking that with that defensive line up on the inside of bus stop. That's going to be then going almost again side by side with no, it's going to be Vossi again backing up. No, it's going to be Vossi backing out too much. It's going to be Saber up on the inside of Vossi now, sliding right through with that critical mistake with the from P4 potential P4 down into P6. What a disaster.
Yeah, throwing that on the outside there. I mean, Plasma has been lacking straight line speed coming out, going into the bus stop, but you have to be careful when you come into the bus stop there as Joker, as we see him actively spin out. Again, as we take a look at a replay of, I believe, of an earlier incident. I think, again, this is at the bus stop. And coming through, it's, oh yeah, dips tires to the grass. Oh, just can't turn it in. Ooh, more damage for I believe that's Joker, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was Joker. Unfortunately, sending it a bit too hard on the final part of the bus stop chicane and just not able to get the car to turn in anymore and hitting the wall here. But with only 6 minutes of the race to go, oh my god, the time has been flying by here, and there's still all points up for grabs with Cappy just disappeared off into the horizon with a 25-second gap into Cappy, but Azure is right behind them, hoping to pounce on that Ferrari 296 ahead of them to hopefully claim that P2 spot here with, we see also the lap car, them having a bit of a flash or to get past them soon, but there's still a chance for Azure to get past Grim and get into that very crucial P2 spot here. This is going to be potentially title deciding points right here we're seeing.
Yes, and of course, as we know, Plasma needed to be at least high up in the points, but with Caffey up in first, any position lost from this point is going to give Caffey even more of an advantage, and Grim Lilith, because Grim Lilith, after such a bad start, has managed to be ahead of Plasma by 2 places. Incredible, and it's just going to change the championship. We see Saber get a little squirrely coming to the exit of the bus stop, manages to hold it, and Saber again, Plasma being the bottleneck, and Saber goes side by side, almost makes contact, coming down into the boot, and Cohen in the middle of this all, trying not to get in the way, and Saber looking to make that move on Plasma, coming through here. You can see how close he is coming up into the toe, and we know Plasma's been losing a lot of straight line speed. Saber trying to stick behind, losing a little bit more momentum coming up here and out of the boot and into the heel. As you can see, Vossi right behind. Any mistake by any of these drivers means positions lost. Vossi with the least to lose at this point, but of course, looking at that very, very prestigious top 5 spot, especially with this competitive pro class, I know Vossi wants it, I know Saber wants to pass Plasma, and I know Plasma wants to stay defending. What a battle. We have to see how this winds up as we come into the closing laps here, as we reach the 4-minute mark here at Watkins Glen.
Yes, we see Saber getting really close into the bumper of Plasma here. Now going to be their best opportunity. They're going to be less than a 10th separated. It's going to be now Saber up on the inside of Plasma, finally able to get side by side into turn 1. It's going to be Plasma with a deep set into turn 1, able to just barely cling on to that, but no, they're going to be going too wide. They're going to be losing that, but there's going to be also a lap car right ahead. That's going to be the car number 12 of JPEG Fox. Also going to be something, JPEG's on the grass. He's going to be all over the place here on the track. That's going to be the absolute last thing all 3 of these cars are going to be wanting, as they're going to be going almost side by side into the bus stop again here, with Plasma hogging that inside line here, with Saber trying to peek, but Saber's not, Plasma's not giving any space at all to make that move to stick. And they be again trying to get that side-by-side move to stick here, but Saber is not able to find that move, to find that space to make that move to stick. And again, they went a bit squirrely on the bus stop as well, again losing a bit of time, and again having to crawl that distance back to have another go at overtaking Plasma.
And Plasma right now, I mean, he does not have any of that straight line speed going into the bus stop there, but he's making up for it every single time with the positioning of his car. It's very, very hard to pass Plasma. The only one that has been successful at that is Grim, and as you can see, Plasma's been making it extremely difficult for anyone to get by him, and that's just a credit to how well he drives. But we are reaching the final couple of laps here, and this is where this skill is tested. For everything you've done in the race, this is where it matters, where you cross that finish line at the end, and Saber all over the back of Plasma, trying to force him to make a mistake, but Plasma's holding steadfast. He does not want to give it up.
Yeah, Plasma is just absolutely just defending for the time of his life. He's hoping to keep any kind of possibility to keep that lead in the championship. He's getting all of them going really close into the exit of turn 11 here, almost hitting that wall on the outside. But again, it's going to be given the opportunity for Saber to hopefully get up into the inside line of Plasma into turn 1. But no, it's going to be that straight line speed of that Audi holding on then just long enough. But again, Audi's just sent wide into the exit of turn 1. I'm surprised they would have a drive-through for how many times they've been just going wide into the turn 1 section there.
It has to be very careful. I'm pretty sure Plasma right now. Oh, as Plasma makes a move on Grim Lilith at the bus stop, they make contact. They end up.
That's actually Asher. That's Grim. Asher and Grim, they both crashed. They both went a bit too hard into the bus stop. They've both been out of the race. That's going to be Grim, Asher, Simon, Wushu, all of them going past these two cars. Both of them carrying massive damage with only 2 minutes left of the race to go. And an absolute disaster was going to be Plasma again in the P2 spot here. So this was the final stroke of blood he needed to keep the championship fight alive with only 2 minutes left to go. What a shocker! Again, it's
this is
Saber
right now.
Oh my god, I'm running out of breath here. I'm running out of voice here. With everybody still fighting for the top of their lives, and they're going to be Saber now getting that scent finally done. Saber in the lead. Saber into P2 with Vossi also right behind Plasma as well, hoping to also get past the Pro. Now he already tried, but Plasma's still not giving up. He's still trying to get up into past the Ferrari 296 of Saber into the head here. But it's going to be a stroke of luck for Plasma to keep their top 3 fights so far. But Vossi is going to be looking at a potential overall podium through all of this carnage and disaster. And an incredible drive from the TGR driver.
They are running out of time, too. The white flag has been flown for Caffey right now as we see Plasma go wide again. Oh, and you have to think he can't take any more risks there. He risks getting a penalty right at the end of the race, and that could mean disaster for whatever luck he's gotten so far. Vossi right now wants to take advantage, and Saber absolutely loving this right now. You can see he goes wide again out of the corner and coming into the final lap here. It's a 3-way battle for second. Saber, Plasma, and Vossi. We'll see if Vossi can take advantage. Vossi getting huge momentum here coming into the final trip to the bus stop. We'll see if he stays outside. Only one person has been able to make that move there, and that was Grim Lilith earlier. He gets just barely ahead, slows down. If there's any place to do it, it's now. He tries, but he's unable to capitalize and ends up under threat. I believe it's Simon Luck. Oh, but Simon Luck goes a little wide and spins right at the last lap, loses the position to Worshel. Wow, what a final lap, and right now, so far, Saber's looking really good here as they reach a lap car in traffic, but Vossi wants that position, and it's right now just Vossi and Plasma, and I believe Vossi wants to make that move, but we see Caffey here after a brilliant start and hanging on, coming across the start-finish line and wins today here at Watkins Glen. An incredible performance. And then we switch back right now to that third-place fight now between Vossi and Plasma. Plasma has been defended well so far this entire race. Saber only managed to get by. He's just got to put the car in the right place in those last few corners. We'll see if Vossi gets a little desperate, but I think not. I think he'll think better of it. He'll take the 4th place as we come around the final couple of corners. Plasma coming around the final corner here. Saber coming across the line here in 2nd place. An incredible drive coming up 3 places after everything. Plasma in 3rd and Vossi in 4th, followed by Worshu in 5th. What a top 5 finish.
An incredible competition happening from all of us. We've seen like was 2, 3 different cars in the lead of the break point here, and I don't think any of the top 5 positions were solid here. Were solid in their position. We also see Newt finally crossing the finish line in 7th place with Randomly getting up in 8th with Choker coming up a little bit behind into P9 here. And then also something I need to highlight: Vex is in the top 10 after all of that chaos, after all that courage. We have an AM driver overall in the top 10, securing that final top 10 position in this. So an incredible drive, a bit of a quiet drive from the gloomy Ferrari 296 drive, but an incredible driver nevertheless.
And that's what you'll take. You'll take that any day. Top of AM, top 10 overall, amazing performance, and keeping your nose clean. That's how you do it.
Absolutely, indeed. We see a few more of the cars going over the finish line here, with Blade Wolf running out in P2, a very distant P2, but a P2 nevertheless in silver. So crucial points for him. But so the F-Spirit also securing P3 in the silver class championship here, getting a P12 overall. So we also see Zesos earlier cross the finish line here, getting up into P13 here. So that's going to be the end. We also see Grim and Auras both have retired from the race here. So we're not going to be seeing the end of the race here so far, but a very, very chaotic race happening here with Grim all the way up, starting from P11, got up into P2, but a mistake, an unfortunate crash with Asher Code dropped him all the way down into P24, so that's a disastrous result. But somehow through all that, Plasma still in P3 despite hitting walls, despite getting into accident, despite spinning at one point. So it just goes to show that despite having so many incidents, you never give up. You keep your head down, you keep driving, and Plasma has perhaps not going to be in the lead of the championship, but he's still going to have that championship fight alive as they go into the final round in Coda.
Well, definitely. And you know, coming into this race, Plasma, you know, he needed to secure those points, and it was looking bad for him at some point, given that he had no straight line speed, given that he was seemingly out of whack ever since the pit stop. But he manages to throw on a school for defense, only letting 2 cars by after half an hour of racing, Saber and Grim Lilith. And as we saw, all you need is a little bit of luck, and you keep that consistency. You have that, you get a good result, and that's what Plasma had today. But I have to say, credit where credit is due. After all the chaos, Saber, P2, and Vossi, a silver driver in P4. Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely incredible driving happening from all of us, and this is just going to set us all for an incredible final showdown in SAM, in Silver, and in Pro for Coda in a week's time. So we're absolutely hoping all of you are going to be seen there, because it's going to be exciting, it's going to be tense, and I am, for one, really looking forward to that race.
It's going to be absolutely incredible, and of course, the title is going to be on the line. It is not a runaway up at the top for anyone at this point. Caffey securing the points and the momentum coming into the last race. It's going to carry Caffey through. Plasma wanting to get that final win after what I would call a subpar performance from him, especially with how he struggled, but still manages to keep the fight alive there. And then Grim, of course, trying to make up after what was a disaster in the last couple of laps. It's unfortunate to see, but you have to pick back up and you have to finish strong. And of course, they're going to be looking to do that.
Yes, indeed. And this goes to show that just you never give up. You just take all of the opportunities you get, and this, even if you have accidents, you're just going to keep going and keep driving. But that's going to be it for the 5th, a very, very chaotic round in Watkins Glen, as we have kind of expected to see here in Simufur. So in a week's time, it's going to be the finale, the final round of the Simufur GT3 Season 5 Championship in Circuit of the Americas. So we are going to be hoping to see all of you there. But from us here in the commentary box, from the stewards, from all of us here at Simufur, we thank you very much and wish you all a very good night.
I wish you all a good night. That Racing Dragon and Denak signing off. Thank you very much, and you have been watching Simufur GT3 Championship. Thanks so much, everybody, and have a good night.